Hello, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra. How are you? It's good to know that we have survived the month of August and we are in the month of September. For as many as those of us that joined this month. Well, our prayer is that we are going to see the beginning of another month. If you say amen, you bring your offering, or you can simply call me Pastor Aiche. Okay, welcome to Good Morning Anambra. Today is the Monday edition. I like to believe that you had a very super weekend. I did. At least you can see it from my face that I'm, Welcome. My name is Sijama Uche. Do stand by for our press review this morning. Okay, welcome again. Joining me this morning to look at what the papers are saying, Mr. Nonso Orapwe. Mr. Nonso Orapwe is the executive chairman of Catch Them Young Community Initiative and also a public affairs analyst. Sure, I got it. Welcome.
Thank you, IJ.
Okay, and then seated beside me is Jerry Obodo. He's also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Jerry.
Thanks for having me. The Anambra and Nigerians, may peace of Christ be with you all.
Amen. Welcome. Okay, as usual, we begin from the beginning. That's from our website, www.absradiotvorca.com. Okay, the first story there says Anambra NOA Director Moji Lao Soludo on environmental campaign. Other stories, Anambra lawmaker Okoye disperses school fees to over 30 students in Awka South 2 constituency. ABSMD Obidewu advocates translation of rotary four-way test in local languages. And finally from here, Anambra state government urges property developers to comply with physical planning laws. These and many more are the stories you find from our website this morning. Where do we start, sir? Jerry Obodo.
Yeah, very good, stories there. Let us begin with MD ABS Obidewu advocates translation of rotary four-way test in local languages. I think he made a very good and salient point there because most of the people in the rural areas does not understand most of the things that the four-way test of the rotary is saying. So he gave them a very good advice there, and like this law on anti-grazing, that was signed into law by the former governor. Most of these headers does not understand the language, the English language. So I advocate also that the state government can also translate those laws into the local languages, to enable these headers and some of the local people to understand the nitty-gritty of the game. So that they won't be caught napping, Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So I know you are of the environmental campaign because since I've known you, you've been campaigning for a better environment for Anambra State and beyond.
And also advocates of democracy, good governance.
Okay, so let me take you on the number one story of Anambra NOA Director Moji Lao Soludo on environmental campaign.
Let me also laud who is lauding the Anambra State government.
The NOA Director.
Yes, that man is an exceptional leader.
Oh, really?
Yes, I encountered him like let me say thrice now on the issue of deepening our community developments. So he's really trying. For lauding the state governor or government for this environmental campaign and all that, I want to join my voice to his, to give Anambra State government the applause he deserves for taking a good step in environmental issues. Take for instance, let me talk about the one people are conversant with, the littering of waste all over the states. Back then, like say 2 months, 3 months ago, there was a whole lot of complaints around the city, this one. But I think today we can say there is actually an improvement in that area. So the campaign is not only for the government, the campaign is not only for the National Orientation Agency to, project. The campaign is it's for the people. So the people now will take the ownership of the campaign. So anywhere you are, be environmental friendly.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, the other story, Anambra lawmaker Okoye disburses school fees to over 30 students in Awka South constituency, investing in human infrastructure. I think there was this cartoon I saw during the week where they brought out the three presidential candidates, major presidential candidates in the forthcoming election. We saw one sharing corn with or eating with children there. And then we saw another one maybe distributing beans or rice. And we saw another one sharing laptop to students, okay?
It's good we see all these things happening. It's apt. It's something that we will encourage. Like my organization says, the name of my organization, Catch Them Young, is very deep. When you see this kind of act, we reason it, we take it, beyond human reasoning. That this is where education starts. The education we're talking about is not the school education. The human resource, human resource development. This is that's the first thing in life that one should engage. So I want to commend the lawmaker who has engaged in that, and also want to say that it shouldn't be something that is seasonal. It shouldn't be seasonal. It should be something that is continuous,
And not just by Okoye, every other
lawmaker
should join, not just the lawmaker, everybody,
it shouldn't be seasonal, because we don't
us.
want to see it as if it happens, before the election or whenever election wants to come, we'll begin to hear this kind of a news.
I know.
We want the people to tell us about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Finally, from our website, Sajeri Obodo, Anambra State government urges property developers to comply with physical planning laws. And just yesterday or 2 days ago, we saw where the state government was pulling down structures based on the fact that you were asked to remove it or not to build in a specific place, and you continued. Do they think we are joking here? I think that's that in my governor's tone. Okay, Jerry.
They got what they bargained for. The laws are there and they're stipulated, and you circumvent the laws, and the result of that is what they are getting. How can you build on the drainage systems and the canals and channels? So people should not do what is illegal, and they should be very legal in their approach to things. When you get to the Ministry of Lands, you inquire of the area you are going into. There's what they call search. You search to know if the lands are encumbered and all that before going into that, so that you will not regret building the houses. And also, like I said last time when I came, the government officials who issue lands, certificate to and take monies from unsuspected people should be, made to face the law as well.
Okay.
Because they are accomplices to that, Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Let's venture into the papers and find out exactly what is trending this morning. Beautiful Monday morning. Is it raining on your side? Okay, I think it's drizzling down here. All right, let's see. The New National Star is our first paper this morning. On top of the name template of that newspaper, that's the story that said, uncertainty trails PDP neck as crisis hits governors, BOT calms. That's on top of the name template of the New National Star. And then below the name templates, other stories coming there. Petrol will cost 462 per litre without subsidy. This one is coming from NNPC. And then Jigawa man drowns rescuing cow. Animal survives. If we goes in now. Okay. So no threat to 2023 general elections. And this one is coming from the IGP. No threat to 2023 general election. Okay, I hope that promise stays. And then the banner headline here says, gunmen abduct 43 travelers in Ekiti, Ondo, kill NSCDC official. Very bad one for a Monday morning. I don't know what we're going to do with all these gunmen that won't let us drink and keep cup on the tables. 9 dead, 10 injured in Abuja road crash. And then a second most terrorized country ranking. Experts call for NSA service chiefs sacking. Okay, down here, the last story coming from this paper, 2 bodies recovered from Lekki collapse building. Oh gosh. Okay, we'll take another paper before we start looking into the stories. The next paper to that one is the Daily Independent. Daily Independent. Okay, and the banner headline there says, banks, major retailers, others unite against e-Naira adoption. Banks, major retailers, others reunite against e-Naira adoption. Okay, and then how Tinubu met resolved Muslim ticket with CAN leaders. How Tinubu met resolved Muslim ticket with CAN leaders. Okay, other stories coming from that paper. Jakarta Steel, our federal government settled a $5.3 billion contract dispute with foreign firm by Malami. 9 dead, 10 injured in Abuja road crash, 2 bed. Amotokum begins search for missing 32 passengers in Ondo with a rider there. A missing Ondo Teaching Service Commission director found beheaded. Oh my gosh. Oh. Troops kill 3 terrorists, recover weapons in Kaduna with a rider there. Terrorists attack Borno Mosque, kill Imam, 3 others. Can you imagine what's going on in this country? Serap urges withdrawal of APC members as INEC rec nominees. Serap urges withdrawal of APC members as INEC rec nominees. While we have problems in Nigeria, this one is coming from Pastor Adeboye. So many stories coming from here. Let's get back to where we started. That's the National Star. And look at the banner headline there. Gunmen abduct 43 travelers in Ekiti, Ondo, kill NCDC official. We're going to join it with this other story that said second most terrorized country ranking. Most terrorized country ranking. Experts call for NSA service chiefs sacking. I'm starting with you, Nonso. How long are we going to see these tragedies? And then how long are we going to call for this sack of the service chiefs to rejig our security architecture?
That's exactly what I want to ask. Because I think we have done that like over and over and over. And I don't know when that will stop. I think what we have is just bad leaders. Not even the service chiefs. Not even the service chiefs. The people, they know themselves in this country. And that is why these things kept repeating itself. So what I'm trying to say is this. Changing the service chiefs is not a problem. The problem is changing the system entirely. You see, one bad egg spoils a whole lot of eggs. So we need to find out who are the bad eggs amongst the good ones. Fish them out. Then the system will work. If the head is good, trust me, the tail will be good too. So what I'm trying to say is this, it's not by changing the service, it's, of course it's not working because they've changed once, I think twice. There's a third one they are calling for. So that's not the problem. The problem is the system. The problem is our leaders, the people who brought in these people into action.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me add something. And when you look at these insecurity issues with what the IG said, he said no threats to general election.
2023
election. Trust me, these are the threats to that election.
I was actually going to ask Sir Jerry that question. When the IGP said there's no threat to 2023 election, then security situation is worsening in Nigeria. So is this not a big one? And then do you also agree with Nonso that we don't need to change the what do you call it, the security chiefs, the service chiefs?
Yes.
Well, we only relying on God because man has failed us. What I mean
in
by
Nigeria.
Yeah, what I mean by
because
that.
man is doing very well. All of that, all of the places except here.
Yeah, just like my colleague also said, man has failed us. Man has failed us, and men, the leaders, have failed us, and we are targeting 2023 for a change for the better, not a change for the worst or for the negative. So that's what we are getting now. In 2015, they branded the change. No one knows that the change was changed for the negative or worst. So, having said that, the leaders, I can tell you that they are not very, very sincere in the approach to the security. Some of the government officials are alleged to be either sponsoring the terrorists or have been members of terrorist group before, and they are still there. The government has not fired them. The president of the country himself alleged, or I said that is a patron or whatever of one of this thing. And you can imagine how such a person can deal decisively with such groups. So all these things are the problems we have. Then also, you will recall that none of the service chiefs, are of Southeast extraction, or even So, and I can tell you that the Southeasterners has the wherewithal to face this matter squarely, but he's sidelining them. Take, for instance, Ihe Jirika, former chief of staff. And so you recall that when he was the chief of army staff under Jonathan regime, he faced these people squarely and killed a lot of them, and we're almost saying that we are done with the Boko Haram and the other groups. Only to be that the Northerners said he has killed our people, he has finished our people, and called on Jonathan to remove him. That was what gave the room for this so-called terrorists to continue to linger up to now.
Okay, we keep talking about our leaders. We keep talking about our leader, the leaders and leaders. No, so I am still talking about this insecurity situation. Is there any way we can make our institutions work in this country, so that it's not whether a good leader comes in or a bad one comes tomorrow, but when the institutions are stabilized and working, this leadership thing that we're having problem with will not influence them in any way. Is there any way we can make that happen here?
It still boils down to the leadership. Leadership is the one to institute the system.
If you get it right.
Once the system is there running, once you come in, you follow the system. So leaders, this thing is not out of them. We can't say anything outside leadership. So they need to put up.
One minute, please. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mr. Kuchukwu calling from Jos.
Okay, Kuchukwu from Jos. Welcome.
Yes, I want to talk about the issue of the terrorist insecurity in Nigeria.
Go ahead, sir.
We all know how these people came into Nigeria, how it started. APC brought them to Buhari and the Roma, and so on. Right, they brought these people to Nigeria. And let me tell you, until, like Abaka said, that any incident that lasts beyond 24 hours is that the government knows about it. Government is part of them. You see? As it is now, going by what the terrorists are doing, it is like the government wants terrorists to take over in 2023, and they will brand it as terrorists as they have overrun Nigeria. But God will not allow that.
Okay.
I want to bring this to your notice that during Jonathan's administration, already they said they will make this administration ungovernable for him. And they brought these people, and actually these people made it ungovernable for him. And he threw the towel and allowed Buhari to take over in 2015. You see, it's like the promise the APC made to these people, they did not really remove it to them. The promise, they didn't actualize it. And these people now have started destroying, killing here and there just to have their food in Nigeria. See, until Nigerians wake up and do what they did to them in Congo, people. You know, in Congo, they were doing something until the Congo people woke up one day and treated squarely, dealt with them, and they left Congo. That is why they are no longer in Congo. The same thing should be done in Nigeria. If it becomes 2023, our security institution, I believe, will be strengthened, and most of those people that have been financing them, it is high time they should be brought to book. They are now, let their name, be made known to people. Let them, people to know those that they are people.
Okay, Mr. Okechukwu. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okechukwu from Jos.
Why I'm saying the leadership must be held accountable. How can terrorists or bandits attack Kuje prison, pass through the major roads we have in Abuja, and then just go scot-free with motorcycle, bikes and all that till today?
Is it motorcycle that they use in conveying over 600 people that they released?
You saw them now. It was all over. It was everywhere. You saw them using motorcycle to flee.
All right.
So, and apart from that, they have, what's it called? There was this army checkpoints. They all passed through them and went scot-free.
And some army were withdrawn before the attack.
You can imagine.
So who will do them? Who will do them?
That's the leadership. That's the leadership. And up till today, they've not summoned the security chiefs since then till
and
now they want to
Gumi is the chief negotiator with the bandits, and they know Gumi. They know who they are getting.
So
okay, gentlemen.
We need to tell ourselves the truth.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Let's take this other story before we move to another paper. That's from Daily Independence, and it says Serap urges withdrawal of APC members as INEC nominees. Talking about making our institutions work. This is another area where we have problems, whereby so many people have called if it's possible for this independent organization, INEC, and every other institution's head not to come from the executive, so that you don't pay allegiance to anybody. If there's a system that brings them up, then you are not, you are not, you don't belong to any leadership. You're your own. It continues without them. Okay, the institution continues without the leadership. The leadership comes and goes, like they all say that the barracks remains when soldiers comes and goes. That kind of a thing. So that's what we're trying to say. How do you relate this to that? Because if INEC is independent, actually, why would this nomination come from the executives? No, sir.
The fact is, it still boils down to HIT 2023 election not being fair, not being credible, not being transparent.
Was it in 2022?
That's what I mean. The plans must start now. the plans to, to rig either by digital or by electronically. These are the plans. And trust me, even civil society have, kicked against this. It's moving, and you will see them, they want to implement it.
So when men are busy shouting free and fair election for 2023,
the leaders will be doing
take over Nigeria, take over the country, and some other people are busy
doing their own. So what I'm trying to say is this: I think that opinion or that selection will not work so far as this country is concerned at this moment.
You
because
think so?
I know National Assembly will kick against it.
Okay, like in Dorita Onoche's case. Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's move to the next paper for want of time. Not Punch. Daily Sun is our next paper this morning. Beside the name templates of the Daily Sun, we'll have this story that said NNPC offers to submit to forensic audit of fuel subsidy. Let's look at the riders. Insists daily average supply remains 68 million. Let's see who has joined us too. Yeah, hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, sorry, you're not there. Oh, yeah, but the better headline there says, IU battles for survival as PDP crisis worsens with riders there. More governors, NWC members move against party share. And then another rider says, his removal will cause more trouble, warns McAfee. Okay, and then by this side of the paper, Alafin's two kingmakers shortlist 86 contestants. Government holds peace parley. Bloody day in Lagos, Abuja and Niger. 2 die, scores injured in Lagos building collapse. 10 die in Abuja and then Niger. A whole lot of that. I don't know how to start reading all this. Die. Okay. Okay. And this NDDC or Shomole, Akeredolu, Sylvia fight over MD as litigation threatens board inauguration. Okay, $6.477 billion debt. Oil costs remit over 3.8 billion to federal government. 2023, PDP tackles Tinubu over comments on opposition party. And down here, government beheaded TESCOM director, kill NSCDC officer, abduct 35 passengers in Odo and Ekiti. Are there no policemen, no security men in all these places that these adoptions are taking place? Abductions and kidnappings and killings and a whole lot of things. Okay, let's look at Punch before you come in. Punch newspaper is our next paper this morning. NDLEA files, that's Abba Kyari, NDLEA files 24 charges, seizes 14 mega assets. This is the banner headline from Punch newspaper. Let's look at the riders there. Agency uncovers shopping malls, orders owned by ex-IRT commander. Kyari's deputy, Oboa, fails to declare 100 million life insurance policy. And then other stories, 2 dead, others trapped in Lagos building collapse. All right, let's look at what's going on in PDP, going back to the Sun newspaper. IU battles for survival as PDP crisis worsens. Are these people going to survive this crisis? And then how are they going to launch into the 2023 election with all these problems on their head? Sajeri over there.
Yeah, thank you
very much. The election is in 2023, and every party is gearing up to that election crisis. The parties, the PDP chairman, they are targeting his removal, and others are against and others are for. So they know the consequences of not putting their house in order. If they are not united, they cost them a lot during the election. And one of the comments there is becoming late to remove the man because it will cause more harm than good for them. They should patch up their crisis and, form a united front to be able to face other parties. That's my take on that.
Okay, thank you very much. And also you might want to say something on that, but before then, let's look at Abba Kyari's case. Agency uncovers shopping malls, orders owned by SIRT commander. The federal government has uncovered 14 assets, including shopping malls, residential estates, polo, playground, lands, and the farmland belonging to former commander. Intelligence Press Pontin Abba Kyari as a deputy commissioner of police. Kyari was said to have failed to disclose this ownership of the properties in different locations in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and Maiduguri, Borno State. Over 207 million naira and 17.598 pounds were also discovered in his various accounts in GTB, UBA, and Sterling Bank. Where are we going with this?
I'm not surprised. Not surprised, and I think Nigerians are not surprised to be seeing all those things. When you create an avenue, or when you create a loophole where this embezzlement, takes effect, you won't come back to blame people. Rather, you blame yourself. Like I will always say, anything that is happening at this level of politics, or this level of the situation Nigeria are now, is brought by the leaders. It is caused by the leaders. So this one is another what's it called? Is it disclosure? This is another part of it. The ones who have seen 80 billion, 100 and something billions and all of that. My problem is these things will be reviewed, but nothing will be done at the end of the day. This man will still go scot-free. Because why would he go scot-free? Listen, the ones that you caught red-handed, there's no sanction. There's no punishment. So once that happens...
1 minute now, sir. Yeah, hello.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm not taking to ABS.
Hello, what is your name and where are you calling us from? What's your name and your location?
Am I taking to ABS?
Oh, yes, you are. You are.
My name is Michael from Yola.
From Yola, Michael. Okay, you're welcome. You may need to turn down the volume on your TV set. You may need to turn it
All
down.
these people that these are opposition.
Are you there, Michael? Hello?
Okay. Please, all these our leaders. Yes, I'm there. Our leaders are turning us into a rag. I'm an Igbo man, but I stayed all my life in the northern states. If anything happened to an Igbo man or anybody from the southern or from the eastern, and not, they will not scotch him. They will not try to maltreat him in a different way. But if an Igbo, a Hausa man, look at Abba Kyari, how much is in his account. Look at other people stealing money, the pension people stealing billions of trillions of naira. Nothing is being done to them. And if it is an evil man, they'll cause harm, put him inside jail, they will jail him. Why are we being treated like that? In this Abba Kyari now, we think how many weeks and they are going to bail him out.
Okay.
Look at this, our leaders are sponsoring. I know, I told them, I know them. They are sponsoring this Fulani, carrying guns, giving them killing masses. But Nnamdi Kanu is there, we refuse him on bail.
Okay. Thank you.
So now we should now, I'm not talking about Nnamdi Kanu, but all the general, I'm talking about the Igbos. I'm talking about the Southerners.
I know.
You're welcome. Please, we should talk about
in and talk to our leaders, our representatives, our senators.
And that's exactly what we are doing here, Mr. Michael. Thank you very much for calling us from Yola. I hope
You're
you guys
welcome.
are safe.
Thank you.
I hope you are safe there.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
As a matter of fact, I don't regard them as
Leaders, I regard them as rulers. Leaders are, good people who thinks about their people. Look at in the biblical records, the leaders can die for their flocks, for the people they are governing. Mm-hmm. But these guys are parasites,
Okay.
So
Okay, gentlemen.
they are rulers.
Okay, let's move on. Nation newspaper. Let's see how far we can go before our time goes off. Okay, Nation newspaper is our next paper this morning. NNPCL, as you very much know, that they are now limited. That's why you see that L there. NNPCL, petrol to sell for 462 naira per liter without subsidy. Let's look at that because I've seen that story. Corporation defends 68 million per liter of liter daily consumption claim. There's customs CG ready for forensic audit. Okay, PDP crisis, hope deems for reconciliation. Okay, the next paper is, what next do we have? The Daily Trust. Do I have Daily Trust here? Okay, let's look at Tribune. Okay, Tribune newspaper. PDP may ask IU to step aside. Atiku no longer weakest target. Party source. Why Autumn continues to back Rivers governor. There is a Wahala in the PDP. Okay. And then do we have any other story that is trending there? None. Let's move on. This Day newspaper is our next paper. This Day by Tinubu, we need not worry about PDP. We are not equals. Okay, Tinubu is saying this. We need not worry about PDP. We are not equals. Let's see who has joined us before we continue. Yeah, hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Are you there? Oh, you are not. Okay. All right, this Day newspaper. Nigeria's average daily petrol subsidy is 68 million liters. NNPC clarifies. Okay, that's on top of the NEN templates. And then rightly below the NEN templates, you see obese crowdfunding portals to open next week. This one is coming from Otomi. Otomi reveals that obese crowdfunding portals to open next week. Okay, Atiku, September hails dawn of Nigeria freedom from APC stronghold. Why Tinubu is saying that we need not worry about PDP. We are not equals. Okay, we're coming back to that, but let's look at this last paper before we get talking again. That's the Guardian newspaper. AMCOM buckles under 5 trillion naira toxic asset recovery. These days, you don't even, the way you say about the money, or the imagine from million, trillion, and billion. Let's look at this riders there. Recovers 1.4 trillion out of 5 trillion in 12 years. Shareholders seek dissolution of corporation. Creation was misconceived. Can't continue to survive on banks funding. Debt of firms on life support operators deserve. Trace defaulters to their new investment and arrest them. And when you arrest them, what happens? Okay. Yeah, Sajeri. Yeah. What other story do you want to talk about? But before then, somebody has joined us again. Yeah, hello. Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Femi Thomas. I'm calling from Jos.
Femi Thomas from Jos. Welcome.
Yes, I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, from Lagos. Okay, you're welcome.
Yes.
Make your contribution, please.
Yes. I want to have a take on the issue of the dismissed DCT Abba Kyari on the new foundings of the drug law enforcement agents. You see, 24 mega assets being discovered by drug law You see, that is to tell you the type of mess in Nigeria. This man was the one that was running after criminals, running after robbers. He later became a victim. You see, what, if I may ask, what was his basic salary to acquire all these multi-billion naira worth of assets? You see, the indictment by the American law enforcement, by the American police, suggests that this man might be guilty of the allegations that concerns hush puppy. You see, what pains me is that when all these things are being discovered, as they have discovered all these illicit transactions, nothing will be done to this man. By the time you know what is happening, in the next 6 to 1 year, this man will be released from the correctional center where he has been confined for a long time.
Okay.
If Nigeria has been discovering huge amounts of money stolen by people, and such people, they will spend 2 to 1 month in the prison or in the correctional center, and they will be released. That is to tell you that
We keep
this
stealing.
present administration that is fighting corruption is not fighting corruption. I see this administration as one of the most corrupt
Okay.
administration in the
Okay.
history of
Okay,
Nigeria.
Femi.
We
Okay.
pray that God
Okay,
will give
Femi.
us the leader of our liking in the
Okay.
2023
23
general
election.
election.
Okay,
God bless
thank you. Bless you too. Thank you very much. And that's how far we can go this morning. We'd like to thank you, our last caller, Femi, that called from Lagos, and all the callers that joined us this morning. Thank you. And the gentleman with me in the house, I'd like to thank you. We're completely out of time. I'm sorry, we'll have to carry over tomorrow. Abi, Sajeri over there. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me,
Okay. And then Nonso Orakwe, you are a Satu.
So Orakwe.
Orakwe.
Dr. Satu. Thank you for having me.
I was asking me, Chigo sir.
John, now you're very soon.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Great man indeed. Okay. So do stand by for other programs we have packaged for your viewing pleasure this morning. My name is Sid Choma. God bless you.
Ndị Anambra